Come on, boys, tell it on the mountain. Oh, hey, we're live. What's going on, everybody? How are we doing today? Cave of Wonders, Guy Ashby, Johnny, Guy Ashby, welcome as a member. I appreciate that so much. Never required, obviously, but getting in at a good time, I must say. I think it's so. I've been talking with a couple of folks who have offered to help me create a Discord server, or perhaps even maybe a band or Substack server, depending which website we decide to use. But some sort of exterior server so that you guys can upload pictures of fish, have different threads and things. Facebook's fine and all, and it'll remain. But I've had a lot of demand for people wanting a Discord server or some sort of, exterior area so that, it's easier to post pictures and ask, hey, what's going on with my fish and things like that. But when that happens, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the prices for membership and things. There's still going to be $1.99 membership, but to be in the Discord server, I think I am going to change it so you have to have the $4.99 membership or up. I think that's how I'm going to do it. And the Facebook will remain free. Obviously, I'll still try to check comments as much as I can every day. Yeah, so I just thought I'd let you know about that. That's a little change because it's going to require more work, obviously, to have another social media platform. But also, I want to see what you guys are up to more than I do right now. And I don't have time always to browse other fish YouTube channels and things. And I'd much rather know what my community members are up to anyways than just because someone's a YouTuber inherently. There's so many people with incredible, beautiful setups or breeding rare fish or, who taught me incredible things that don't have a platform or a channel or anything like that. Maybe they don't want one, and that's fine. But I love when you see that just, somebody just kind of usually quietly in the background, you know what I mean? You talking about Discord that charges my phone? Uh, yeah, Discord that charges. I got this bag of cords and bee pollen. This guy came and bought some shrimp off of me a little while ago, and he brought me some local shrimp, which I thought was, or shrimp, some local bee pollen, which I thought was pretty cool. So we have a couple new bits of news and some interesting stuff going on in the fish world. We have, let's see here. Nirvana Clark says, not me applying for a creator pass at Aquachar, even though I don't actually want to be a creator. Yeah, I wanted, a while back, I got invited. And then when it came time to book tickets, it was like crickets. And so I don't know if they'd already booked out their speaker lineup or whatever it was. This wasn't this most recent one. This was like a year ago at Aquachar, after the AGA conference in Chicago that I was at. And then I just never heard anything about it again. And so be it. I'm kind of up here on the map behind me. I'm up in the, the wee far northern corner of the country. And I am, a good 6 hours from everyone on the East Coast. But I do like it when I can get out there. And I will be going to Sacramento and also St. Louis in the near future over the summer. I wanted to maybe make it to South Carolina for the aquatic experience or expo that's going on there with the shrimp contest and all that. But we'll see. I don't think I'll have the money or maybe even the energy, quite frankly, to do that. But we'll see. So how's everybody doing, by the way? San Ginger, what's going on? 3G, what's going on? Candace Rogers, what's up? We got Stephen P 2003, what's going on? Dave's Aquarium thoughts. It'd be funnier if it was Dave's Aquarium THOTS. Isn't that how you say it? Isn't that how the kids say it? The Tumblr Witch, hello. Waterworld, hello. You know what? I am so incredibly moved by the fact that, and I don't want to put any pressure on you guys. Like that's not what this is about. But the fact that most of my chat right now that I'm seeing, anyways, on StreamYard, which is curated a bit, I know somehow the algorithm sorts it, but most of it is members and moderators of the channel. And that just means so much to me. It also probably means that you're the ones who get uh the notices more often than just the other 70,000 people that are supposedly a part of this channel somewhere. But I really do, I mean, I really do appreciate that. Sincerely. I was reflecting on how the channel's now going to be, it'll be 8 years old in September. So it's like 7.5 to 8 years old right now. Kind of depends on when you want to count me posting, but I started regularly posting at the end of September, beginning of October of, it'll be 8 years this September. And, my wife and I were talking about it, and she was kind of like, that's pretty much the worst paying job you could have, because you didn't make any money the first 3 or 4 years or whatever. And then you kind of broke even with maybe some of your fish tanks and stuff, but you spent like 30 or 40 extra hours on the channel. And then now I spend a good 50 or 60 hours doing fish related things a week. And like now it feels like, oh, I just, walked in and got this job. And I was really thinking about it though, like that I really have put a lot of time and videos together to get here. And I have to say that a lot of things in my life I don't feel inherently proud of, but I do feel really proud when I look at the streams and I look at you guys' comments and the questions and you guys helping one another, and like just the fact that people seem to be genuinely learning things here. And that's really what I wanted in the first place, was a place where I could go learn when I felt like I was dedicating myself to the hobby. It's kind of like someone who goes to like church on like Easter and Christmas, was kind of how I was an Aquarist for years. And when I met my wife, and then I kind of became that person who goes like a couple times a month maybe, but like when there's a big football game I don't go to church. And then I got 2 or 3 tanks, and that's when I kind of started the channel again, just to like make observations about interesting connections in my head that I thought nobody would care about other than me. And then as time has gone on, now I'm basically like a monk who lives at the church, right? Or that, the lady who comes and prays every day of the week. Where I am just, everything in my life revolves around fish. All the best friends I have are fish or shrimp or biology related folks pretty much now. And it's a good thing. I mean, but where my life was 10 years ago was a very boring place, because I had just gotten over a kind of a darker and lame part of my life. And so I just look back on it, and I don't know. I just wanted to tell you guys how thankful I am that you guys are here, and how moved I am that, I have been told a lot of times that this channel would not work, that this channel is a boring channel, that I don't, people don't want to learn anymore. They want quick gratification in every video. And slowly but surely, we're finding those like-minded people, who are okay with learning at the speed of podcast, or who are okay with an iPhone filming something, if that's, all I've got at the time to get it documented with. Um, so yeah, 2 foot chopsticks. Thank you very kindly, Mike, who said that. Pretty much all the other big YouTube fish channels, when I asked for advice or input or things like that, especially maybe 5, 6 years ago, yeah, I was told like, history aquariums, science aquariums, you're just gonna like talk about new stuff going on. Like, what, they can just use an RSS feed, or they could Google that. And I can tell you now how much how much deeper the wormhole goes than just being able to Google things. When this hobby, as far as this hobby is concerned, there's so many introduction sites that are fine, they're great, but they don't tell the full story if you're really wanting to know. Like, for instance, there's other cycles other than just the normal nitrogen cycle that we learn, probably the first videos you watched on YouTube, if you were, getting to learn about that stuff. Um, uh, yeah, Dave's aquarium. They were scared of you. I don't know about that. But I think they're yeah, exactly. What they weren't counting on, Neurona Aquatic says, is how many freaking fish nerds there are in this hobby. That's right. And I think that a lot of us that are in the hobby with more than one tank. I mean, a lot of it. I understand a lot of times people can only have one tank, but if you have the ability to have a bunch of different uh, tanks and things, we tend to be the people that are in this community. So it's a really great community for people trying to breed stuff, people who are looking to source stuff. I really do appreciate that. Like, I don't think there's a single fish that I've been like, hey guys, I'm trying to figure out some information on X, Y, or Z. And somebody in the community has been like, oh, I bred that, or I have that right now. Yeah, that's in my garage or whatever. So I think that's pretty cool. Now I think I just heard a knock at the door. Hold on, guys. One moment. One moment. Let me shoo fly these people away. Ugh. Yeah. That's all good. Okay, guys, that was my neighbor. That was my neighbor, and he knocked on the door, even though I literally just walked inside after I was rolling the garbage back into the house about 15 minutes ago. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to stream. So have a good night, buddy. And he literally just came and knocked on the door, and he was like, bro, you want to roll one? I'm like, he is, if you've ever been, or if you've ever seen the movie Half Baked, he is like the guy on the couch, but somehow he has a house that lives next to me. But yeah, he is like a Cheech and Chong character for sure. And I don't have a problem with that necessarily, but sometimes when I'm like trying to get work done, like he'll come in and I'm not talking crap. He knows that I would say this to his face too. But I'll be like sitting there highlighting, an article that just came out on Google Scholar or the Journal of Nature, and I'm like, looking at it and then looking back at another paper and being like, oh, okay, that protein was talked about in this paper, so it's probably going to be the same protein that causes this defect. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. Did you know that guanine, the same thing, guarine that's in iridophores, is also the same chemical that's in on the swim bladder of fish that makes it shiny? Makes sense because they're both reflective. And I look over at him, and he's like watching, America's Funniest Home Video type clips, like a guy getting kicked in the balls like over and over again. Then like slow mo, and then like in negative version, and then like in high speed, and then like normal again, like 20 different ways. Yeah. Stephen P, no doubt, he may be back before the end of the stream. Yeah. He'll probably be like, bro, I need a lighter. Or bro, I need a it's always, I don't know. He always wants a soda or a lighter or something, like that. It's always something that's like, why don't you just grab it off the barbecue out there? Or why don't you go buy one? No, I'm just kidding. No, he'll lend me stuff too if I need it. He's a nice guy. I got him into fish though, and I don't know if it's predictable. Maybe it should have been predictable, but he is getting Oscars next. He just got a 55, and he's got a 55 right now that has 2 rope fish, a peacock eel, a 2 fire eels, 2 tire track eels, 3 rubber lip plecos, and 7 silver dollars in a 55-gallon. And a green tear. Just Wow. So, and that's after like he lives next to me. I show him all my planted tanks. He's like, "Oh, I want to get something like that going." And I'm like, "Cool, I'll help you," And go over there. And I'm like, "Well, at least I have access to film some monster fish, I guess, if they make it." Oh my gosh, so overstocked. Yeah. Um, I just hope that he gets a big tank. Like he actually was talking about buying one of those like big pools and putting it in his garage. So I'm just like trying to egg that on, and then maybe we can get him like, to responsibly take care of some of the like big old fish. Does he have a 200-gallon sump under it? No, he does have a 100-gallon turtle tank though. The goldfish in it. Okay, guys, enough ragging on the neighbor. He's a good guy, but there is a little bit of interesting news, and I want to show you guys this new fish that they just discovered. Which discovery is such an interesting word. If you get real specific about it, what does it mean? Because like, did the native people in the region of an area, did those indigenous people that like know everything about the area, they probably knew about whatever fish was in the area, but did they care? I mean, if they can't eat it, or if it's not useful as a tool, or processing it in some way, um, then it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know, like it's there, but we just call all the little fish the little fish. That's kind of what I tend to hear as when I ask people who get to go explore those remote regions. Is like, yeah, they have like fish that are food fish that all have names, or fish that have sharp teeth that they can use as like a necklace or for cutting stuff. Uh, those have names, but then when it comes to the little fish, they're usually just like, oh, they're all just little fish. And so what I wanted to show you guys is one of the little fish that just gets overlooked. And apparently nobody realized that this fish was in the collection of University of Chicago, I believe it was, or no, Michigan. And let me send the link over to this stream from my phone. And come in, come in, come in. Um, but there's this beautiful new little killifish that they just discovered, and I think it's real pretty. And it's from Madagascar, of all places, too. Um, which Chris Lukoff was just there. I was just talking to him about that. And he's going to be coming out with some new episodes, essentially, on his channel. I think he's going to do 3 parts. He's going to release tales from his trip to Mauritius or Mauritania, and to Madagascar. I guess he had a really hard time in Madagascar. Like he had some stomach issues, and like to go 200 miles, it took them something like 15 hours in the car. Bumpy roads. He's like, yeah, if I ever go back, I'm using a helicopter. I don't care. I'll like, I'm gonna make them pay for it if I ever go back. I was like, wow, he's been everywhere in the world, and if that's his opinion on it, harsh. All right, so let me get this up on the screen. Share screen. Do 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 do. No, no, no. Close. Paywalls. Go away. Go away. No. No. Okay. Let's see how much it's going to crop of this. Okay. All right. All right. I see what's going on now. Now we can scroll down. So this little fish, first time they discovered it was in, go away, gosh, was in 1994. And they preserved it, put it in a jar, and then they didn't think about it again, I guess. First 1994 they found it. Then they went and tried to find more of these little rainbow colored fish, and they couldn't find any more. They had a couple in captivity, and then now they have officially looked at the genetics of it, and this is kind of an interesting terminology here, but it's a new extinct species, and it's from the genus Malagodon, from Madagascar. Malagasy is how you would say Madagascar, kind of in general terms. But there are another group of fish that, of course, I don't know why StreamYard is like by default pairing with Bing, and it is just the worst. It is the worst. But I was trying to find, you guys, there's this whole group of fish that I have never seen in the hobby, and I want to know if anybody has seen them in the hobby. They're from Madagascar, and they get about 3 or 4 inches long, and they are like a minnow. They kind of look like a shiner. And I'm trying to remember right now. I'm totally spacing on the genus name. But Madagascar, maybe it's a bee fish. Big, I want to say it's like BE something, but okay, fish, endemic. Here, I'll find it this way. Bum 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 bum. The coelacanth, great. That's like way off the coast. Oh yeah, Bedodia. So these are like rainbow fish. Sometimes they're considered rainbow fish, right? But not all the time. I don't know why, but there's a whole different set of them. Like there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's at least like 6 or 7 of them out there. And some of them were like just downright beautiful when I was looking at some pictures that Chris took on his trip and that I've seen other people take. There's subtle differences. Let me see here. Why does it keep doing this to you guys? I'm trying to show you the okay, I guess we can do this. See all image? No. So hold on, guys. It's gonna pull the most annoying move on me, which is now I have to close this tab. Oh wait, you guys can't even see the tab. Okay. Um, so hold on, guys. Let me just present, share screen. Boop, 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 boop. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so they come in a variety of colors. This is like really hard to see. This is the only one that's really kind of made it into the hobby and stuff, I think. Is the one that's got kind of red and yellow on it. But there's like a blue one with black on its tail. I don't know how many there are. Chris was saying how badly damaged the entire ecosystem of Madagascar is, just like in what terrible shape it's in right now. Uh, it's really unfortunate. He said it really like kind of crushed his spirits. But these fish are just, they're beautiful, these little Bedodias. And I haven't seen them really in the hobby mentioned at all. Yeah, see, there's like different variations of them too. Um, anyways, anybody heard of those? Anybody know anything about those? How does Bing pay you? Bing doesn't pay me. Bing is just wait, Bing will pay you though? Somebody's saying Bing will pay me. If Bing will pay me somehow, great. But I don't think their search works very well though. Definitely not for fish. Um, Actually, at Google, I don't really love for fish either. I go to Google Scholar and I'll use that as a search place, and then I will also use I'll also use, Google Images and then just kind of reverse hunt through whatever it is I'm looking for. Bing will pay you Amazon gift cards just for using them. No catch. Interesting. Oh, we just had a big crack of thunder above our house. Um, I did not think it was that kind of a day. So guys, do we have any questions about fish? I feel like everyone in here is just so solid uh today. Um, Now it keeps opening your Google Assistant on your phone. Google, order Zen Ginger a mansion. Um, oh shucks, Silver Creek Aquatics, how are you doing? I'm well. Sir Alexander Quetzalcoatl Jedediah Williamson is doing well. That is for sure. Mel, what's going on? It's good you're here. Welcome. Jamie, welcome. Who else is in here? Who else just popped in here? Who hopped in? Who popped? Mike, I think you've been in here, but hello. And Melissa and House of Pisces, what's up? Um, yeah, Madagascar rainbows. Yeah, I mean, that is loosely what they're called, but usually that kind of is, I see that as like 2 or 3 species. I don't really see all the other ones ever. And I wish we saw more of those. Um, yeah. Did Chris say anything about Madagascar lace plants? He didn't. He didn't really say much about that. Thanks, Mel. Yeah, guys, don't forget to smash that like button. You know what's funny is when I stream this way now, we get like right now, as you can see, there are 80 people in here, and that's fine. That's great. You're all like members too, which thank you. You're the ones that count. But the other 70,000 people that are now, that are subscribed to the channel probably have no idea that the stream's going on. When I do it the other way that everybody hates and I have to read half the comments, literally now I have it filtering. So beware, you're wasting your time now. If you're complaining about the orientation of the screen, I'm going to, in the future, just make it so Google clears that or YouTube clears that off because, yeah. But anyways, I know it's annoying. I know nobody likes it, but 10,000 extra eyeballs and another 4,000 members or subscribers rather being reminded that I have a channel, that is a nice thing. I mean, if you guys were here, was that Tuesday maybe? Adam Ragusia, the YouTuber who does the food vlogs, who I have actually posted his videos on this channel just because he's very similar to what I aspire to do with kind of having different subject matters and going over the history and the backstory, the context, the cultural implications of food. That's what I want to do with like fish and plants. And so I really enjoy that about his channel. But he popped in here, and I've been following him and never heard back from him because he's got millions of subscribers. But now that he's doing the rice fish thing, I've commented on a couple of those videos, and I know he's seen them because he's come to the channel now and he's watched my rice fish content. So that is kind of cool. Makes you feel like a small world, right? Uh, MT Coiner, what's going on? Welcome. You gifted 1 membership. Thank you so kindly. That is very nice. I hope someone very kind gets it. I really do appreciate that. Let's see here. This is one of the only channels I'm a member of. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Like I said though, never do it at the expense of, the rest of what you got to do for your family or medical or life. Purely if you got some money to spend on disposable income. I am a subscriber, not a member yet, and I got a notification that you were live. And a banana, yay! Well, welcome. Glad to hear it. Father Fish was also a big help. Daniel Ingalls. Wait, what did Fatherfish do now? Is he streaming right now? Is that what's happening? Did I? Oh, because I know he was talking about adding a stream at one point. He's changed his time. He streams at so many different times in my life. It's insane. Um, I would like to see a video about labyrinth fish. Anything about them? Yeah. So I have done videos on, you know, the history of betta domestication. That's an hour-long video that's extremely detailed, years of research. Literally, like I had a file cabinet and a little folder of everything related, and I had to wait on this genetic research that took like 2.5 years. I knew it was going on, and finally they published it. And then like as soon as that happened, I like had the video structure like ready to go. I had even parts edited of it, and I just popped it right into place. um, thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you for the super chat as well. But as far as the labyrinth fish goes, that's the whole class of fish. Now what I can tell you is labyrinth fish, they need to be bred in very humid conditions. So they need at least 70% humidity for their labyrinth organ to form, because it needs to stay moist. And when they're young, they can't secrete enough um, of the mucus or snot like stuff, the bio slime coat that they secrete all over their body. But there's another kind that's internal, just like saliva, and it keeps all of that membrane, I guess, in the shape that it should be in, just like your sinuses have mucus and things. And if it's not humid enough, it won't work. It doesn't do its thing like it should, because in nature, I guess it almost never goes below about 70% humidity where a lot of those fish are from. And so they need that for their organs to form. And if they don't have that, they won't be able to breathe out of water like bettas can that are bred in a place where they had that humidity. Um, Now, labyrinth fish are all sorts of fish. There are bettas, there are gouramis, there are anabantoids, and there are um, the Ansorgia. I'm trying to the Tenopoma species. Those are also in that group. Um, and snakehead or chana are also in that group. So yeah. Um, But yeah. Let's see here. Oh, wait. Does YouTube go as low as 99 cents now for a membership? Is first class fish? Are you saying that? Because if they do, I'll probably will change my membership barrier to $1, because that's what I wanted it to be originally. I wanted there to be a way for everybody. Yeah, lungfish are their own thing. Lungfish evolved 400 million years ago. They split off from the bichires and the coelacanth, and then the rest of the rays and sharks. That was 350 million years ago. So 400 million years ago, they split off into threes: lampreys and um, the um, Nirvana says, no, Alex, wrong direction. Value your work. No, well, hear me out. I would say that I would allow $1 membership, and but then I would do the $5 if you want to be a part of the what? Why can't my brain work? Work brain. That website that everybody likes. Uh, Somebody will say it, and then I'll feel dumb. Um, yeah, that's true. That's yeah, that's interesting. Like you said, MT Coiner, you have many $1 memberships. You know, when I was setting up my memberships, it didn't let me. So that's probably why. I mean, that's why I set the price the way it is. Um, but they take 40% of that money. So at $1, it's kind of laughable. Like what? Not Patreon, but Discord. Geez, what's wrong with my brain? Discord. So I'll probably have a Discord that people can pay to be a part of. I think that's the next step in Alex becoming a greedy, money grubbing sellout. No, I think, how does TDS above 300 affect plant growth? You know, Sean, that's a great question. There's no specific cutoff of a specific TDS that means anything to plants or fish for that matter. But that means that you got to know what's in the water. If it's all iron, for instance, or if it's all calcium, you're going to have a way different impact on the TDS. If it's a wide spectrum of different nutrients, metals, and carbon and calcium, then that's the most common kind of thing when you have hard water. It's like it's limestone or something like that that's been dissolving. And plants in general like minerality, but they don't want the water so hard that the pH is up above 7. They like it slightly acidic as a general rule. Most of them do, of the aquatic plants. And TDS, I would say where I start to hear there being trouble is really more in the 500-600 parts per million range. And that's without knowing what's in that 5 or 6 parts per million, 5 or 600 parts per million range. But that is where things start to break down. Now, as far as Potamogeton gayi, Kabamba Monier, is it Kabamba Americana, Kabamba Monieri, all of those and hornwort have problems melting right around 300 or 400 probably. And it's not that they can't live, it's that they won't have thick, like bushy raccoon or foxtail looking clusters of needles. They'll start to lose a bunch of needles if the water's too hard or if the water's alkaline at all. Other than that, a lot of fish do kind of enjoy that more alkaline, or a lot of plants, I mean, do have evolved to utilize slightly more alkaline water. But they're not a majority. I'm just saying that there's hundreds of them out there, and quite a few have made it to the hobby. And even if 90% of plants like it more acidic or neutral, there are still like whatever 40,000 species of plants, and some large fraction, 10% of 4,000 plants out there that are going to be okay with it. So I don't know. That sounds crazy. Do you have a Bitcoin address? Can we donate to you with? Wow. Mike, that is a really interesting question. I don't anymore. I have a story I'll tell you in a moment. I don't have any Bitcoin or any sort of the currencies like that or wallets. I do have a PayPal that's in the description of the video and of most of my videos. If you do ever want to drop me a big donation, which, geez, I always feel weird about this, but it does mean a lot. But please, only if you can, guys. I know the economy sucks right now. So if you want to do something like that, and with big donations, unless somebody's like, hey, this is specifically like Alan once, no, who was it? It was Alexander once bought me an air conditioner because with my lupus, I kept overheating during live streams. And he's like, I don't want my live streams interrupted. Here's an air conditioner on Amazon or whatever. Like, sent me the link and then sent me the money on PayPal, which just mind blowing kindness that some people have shown. Even if people have lots of money, I don't care. It's still really kind, thoughtful. But yeah, if you do it through PayPal, then they take like 2 or 3% or whatever it is, and taxes technically now are come out of PayPal income at around. I mean, you can write things off, but around 28% for someone who does YouTube for a living in the state of Washington in the United States. But yeah, it's definitely a lot more money if you want more money to go to a creator at the end of the day. Pay them through PayPal or Venmo or one of those services. Um, I wish I did have an e-wallet though, MT Coiner or Mike, either one of you guys. But I do have PayPal, which I think converts some of that stuff. I don't know. But you guys want to hear crazy stories back from my younger days? This has nothing to do with fish whatsoever, other than I was literally slanging guppies one time. I used to call it slanging guppies because I was kind of a stoner when I was a teenager. Who would have thought when I still have a bunch of 20-year-old tie-dye t-shirts? Uh, and and yeah, I was doing my thing, hanging out, and I was breeding these purple metallic lace guppies when they were like brand new. I was the only one other than this guy Guppy Train, who I think might still be around, but he used to be like a mail order guppy guy. He was also on eBay, but he had like a kid who actually set up a front for him on eBay. So you like talk to this kid on the phone, and then the guy would ship out the fish from like Montana and then later California. Anyways, um, yeah, that's one quick aside. Mike said, I'm pretty sure you can just donate all of that you owe in taxes to your foundation and you won't owe the IRS. Actually, I will be getting an accountant this year because, the last few years I've made like 20,000 through YouTube or something that's like traceable money or whatever. And then I sell some plants and fish on the side or whatever. But this year, if the channel keeps doing well, with the memberships and everything that so many of you, I think there's like 800 people now that have some form of membership throughout the course of the year. And I mean, that gives me so much stability to at least have like, my half of the mortgage, so I can give that to my wife. Sure, I'd love to pay all of the mortgage and, whatever, but um yeah, that's the tricky part with going full time on YouTube is yes, I can devote all my time to different projects in YouTube and answering questions and helping people with emails and things. But then you have to decide at some point, like what percentage of the money gets reinvested in the channel right away versus what goes to your own like survival kind of thing. And obviously, the goal is to put as little towards yourself as possible, as most back into the channel as possible. But yeah, you can donate and do some things like that. But you can't donate like all your money back to yourself unless, I mean, you have to be making like millions in taxes for it to kind of work out that way. And then, for instance, like I couldn't have a car. I couldn't write off a car. I mean, I could justify renting a car, and they'll cover like gas and mileage, and then they'll cover part of the rental fee. But they aren't going to cover like me driving a Hummer or some Range Rover that says Fish 3 on the side, and me calling that a work car. But a lot of corporations get away with stuff like that. So it's kind of relative to how much money you make. But I will be, after June, we will be doing some grandstanding for um, Zen Ginger. Sorry, one sec. Jen Ginger and 186 Element, no notification tonight. Weird. Well, I'm glad you're here now, buddy. Yeah, so on PayPal, my name is just Alexander J. Williamson, like my whole name. My middle name's not spelled out, but Alexander J as in Jet Williamson. And it's just the @ symbol in that, and then it'll ask you for a verification code, which is 4929. If it does ask for that, it doesn't always. And then you can also just do @AlexanderJWilliamson@gmail.com, my email, which, I have listed that stuff's listed all over the place. Not hard to find to get a hold of me. But yeah, all those are linked down in the description. The one on Venmo is weird. It's like 88 Alexander _ Williamson or something. But yeah, I will be getting an accountant to look over that tax thing. The thing is, if it's your own institute, then you're really not supposed to like pay yourself from it and things like that. So there's certain things you can't do. And we've already, all the money that we've raised and or put in our own money for between Ivan Mikolji, his sister, and I, Yelka Mikolji. And she's like a venture capitalist, techie, like guru lady. She, she figures out all this stuff. And like she figured out how we needed to set up our IRS stuff. And because Ivan lives outside the country and was setting up a nonprofit that he is on the board of, but he's in a country that's technically our enemy right now, Venezuela. Yeah, it wasn't fun, the loopholes we went through to get that set up. But it is all set up now. And it's like a sigh of relief that we do have that all taken care of finally. Daniel Ingalls, thank you so much for becoming a member. I really do appreciate it. And I hope you go to the community tab and find some of that extra content that gets popped up here and there. You can write off square feet of your home as a business. That covers your fish tanks as part of your mortgage. Yes, you can do that. I do that. But I have a 9-foot by 10-foot room that is the fish room. And it does not have a bathroom or, another door or anything. So I can write it off as part of the house. But it basically still is, it comes out. I'm making nowhere near enough money for it to come out ahead more than the standard deduction is right now. The standard deduction is by far and away bigger than anything that we're close to making anytime soon with the channel. But yeah, you can do all those things, but it still comes out below the standard deduction for a married couple. If that gives you any idea of, I'm not balling here on YouTube with 70,000 subscribers, even though you guys are by far more active, engaged, and, loyal to the channel, so to speak, then the algorithm has really changed things where it shows it to 5% of your subscribers that have the alerts on. And if 50% of that 5% either click on it or save for later or add it to a playlist, then they'll send it to 10% of another 10%, so 15 total of your subscribers. If then 5,000 of that, or then 5% of that 10% or more likes, clicks, adds it out of 12 thumbnails or out of their feed of 24 or whatever is on a page now on mobile, then they'll start recommending it to everyone who's subscribed. So now it's this big barrier, whereas it used to be easy 5 years ago is when they started changing all this. And it took everyone a while to figure out like what had happened. But it happened when they started using subscribing not so much as saying, yes, I want to know all of what's going on. And you can set your feed so that it doesn't use the algorithm of like chosen from your favorites or whatever. You can set it to be just your subscriptions. And I do that now because I sign up for a channel because I want to see it. And yes, I may have forgot that it was 15 years ago and I signed up for a channel on quantum mechanics, but maybe I want to watch a video on quantum mechanics tonight, Can you stream on Twitch or other services too? Yes, you can. I don't know how to do that. I'm a dum-dum when it comes to some of that stuff. I just haven't explored it. But I mean, Father Fish, I think, was doing Twitch and Facebook and YouTube Live for a while. He had kind of a tech team of helpers that were doing all that. I know a lot of streamers do that and stuff. I can have a bot announce every time you go live on Discord. Oh, cool. Can you have a bot tell my subscribers every time I go live just so that they know, because that's what they requested to know? Welcome, Leah. Welcome. Thank you so kindly for joining us. You are now one of the family. You can get your honorary token and pog at the door as you enter the meeting tonight. And you can get your glass of complimentary Kool-Aid when you join the family for real. let's see here. So, oh, I was going to tell you guys a story. I said I'd tell you a story. Talking about Bitcoin. So back in my juvenile delinquent days, back when I was learning archaeology and uh, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, having arguments over whether Neanderthals and humans were related, and most of the world thought, no, we didn't mix, and if we did, it's gone. And humans are superior to Neanderthals. We won, they lost. Suck it up, tough luck, Neanderthal huggers. And I was of the camp, no, because of the way art and spear points and some burials in Russia as well as Spain are mixed. I was of the mindset, and was my professor as well, which honestly, that's probably why I believed it, because you look up to your professors when you're in college. That Neanderthals were in fact not killed, or they didn't go extinct per se. They became human. They got mixed in with humans, and over time, a lot of them probably died, but they basically became human. Well, now we know with DNA that there used to be this just raging battle in archaeology, and people would get like heated and think like, you're an idiot. I'm not going to listen to anything you have to say, even though you've been an archaeologist for 50 years or whatever, if they had different opinions on those two things at the time I was in college. And then the DNA came out after I graduated, and I look back on it, it all seems so silly because the DNA just proved like all humans outside of Africa have at least 0.5%, if not all the way up to like 4.4, 4.5%. I'm 4.3% Neanderthal. I'm a whole lot of Neanderthal. I don't know if you can handle how much Neanderthal I am. And then also Denisovans are the other big group of hominid influx. And I haven't did I make a video on this yet? Maybe not, maybe yes. I did a live talk about it, but there is really good evidence now that the first hominids, or human-like bipedal primate relatives, that had brains that were much smaller than ours, like Lucy and things like that in our past. Little teeny monkey people, if you want to think of them as that, or ape people. Those moved from the savannah, and it wasn't out of the trees and into the savannah so much that mattered. It was from the savannah to the edges of Lake Chad and the Rift Lakes and the ocean. And what that did is that allowed them to eat shellfish and forage for protein like oysters, clams, seaweed. And our brains, from the time we moved to the coasts, there's a direct correlation, not saying there's a direct causation that's been proven yet, but the isotopes in the teeth that they analyzed from 1 million years ago seem to indicate one. And what really made humans humans seems to be that our brains went from 400 cubic centimeters to 1600 cubic centimeters. And that's massive. Neanderthal brains are all the way up to like 1800 cubic centimeters. And then they went extinct. But the human brain went to about 16, maybe 17, and then kind of settled right around 1600 or so. Question: how open-minded are you on origin theory? I love all input. I am open to most things other than like creationism. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have a problem with it if you think that somehow time was sped up and all this maybe happened in like the blink of an eye in God's mind. But I definitely believe in the process of evolution. I don't think we fully understand it. I think that epigenetics, and there's a whole lot of other things going on we don't have a full picture of, but the whole like missing link thing that was a problem for a long time is not really a problem anymore. We are starting to find a lot of evidence and pieces to the puzzle that are like, oh, there's that animal. And even like from, well, where's the fish with legs? And it's like, well, okay, if bichers and mud skippers and things aren't good enough for you, that's fine. Well, we found the 490 million year old creatures that were essentially coelacanths with legs. So like that just got found. But yeah, access to fatty acids and the flame. You got it, Anna. The flame was the other thing. You're a horizon hugger. Andrew's a horizon hugger. He likes the Yeah. Isn't it odd how we all originated from Ethiopia? Well, we don't know exactly where we originated from. There could be a shift actually, because Denisovans seem to be concentrated in China, Russia, and Southeast Asia. And then there's the Florentian people, which are, I believe, Taiwan may have one set of remains, but moreover, like Indonesia, Java, Papua New Guinea, that's another hominid or human related species that's in the genetics of, so not the little hobbit person, but the that's a whole other group that isn't related to humans, but there is an unknown what we call admixture in the DNA of humans in Aboriginal and Papua New Guinea and Melanesian culture. Also, Asian culture and Native American or ethnicities, they see Denisovan and Neanderthal. In Europeans, we see Neanderthal and human. And in Africa, they don't have any mix. If your ancestors are all from Africa, you will be pretty much all human as it stands genetically. So we don't really know what happened and if our species is one monolith or if it really is different things. But it's a touchy subject because people don't want to say that there could be some differences within the species or that we could have subspecies within the human species because there was a lot of really racist views and things on the ability to function, cognitively and things like that that go in the archaeological past. Regina, what's going on? Welcome back. I didn't even know you were away, but I am so glad that you are a member again. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, Sasquatch, he might be one of our relatives. You never know. But okay, let me get back to my story that I got sidetracked on because I got excited about Neanderthals. So Neanderthals. I was in college and selling guppies and breeding some guppies, selling them on eBay back in the day. And I had friends who were involved with eBay, and they're like, dude, you got to get in on this Bitcoin thing. So this was 2009 or 10 or whatever year that was, 2010 maybe. And somebody, I'll just say this, that I was growing plants back then, but not all of them were in my fish tank. But I was harvesting a lot of plants out of my house for profit back then. And now it's all legal in Washington, doesn't matter. But back in the day, I was doing that and helping to subsidize my college fees and my medical bills. And it was mostly to actually medicinal people. But somebody came and got some stuff on credit and they said, I'll get you back, no worries. And I was like, okay, whatever. Well, they decided to pay me in Bitcoins and they gave me 58 Bitcoins back in the day or no, sorry, not 58, 28 Bitcoins back in the day. 28, it's like 27 point something, I think, actually, like the exact amount. And I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? And they're like, dude, it's worth almost 180 bucks or whatever it was at the time. And I was like, I don't care. I want my money, being all uppity. And I took that money, and immediately went to the Silk Road and saw like what can I buy that's of any use. And I'll just say that I wasted the money. I wasted the money major. And years later, found out about the Bitcoin thing. And what happened was, so I had this like wallet thing that he uploaded on a flash drive for me. And I was like, this sucks. And like I was watching the price go down and down. So I just thought he gave me something that's useless. I was like, he was like this anarchist that was doing Bitcoin mining from home at the time. And he was like all about like how it was going to start a new world order and like there'd be no government and there'd be no tracing of money. And it was like a whole political thing to him. And he was actually getting a couple coins a day out of his operation back when you could, before like hardly anyone knew about it. And I heard about it, and he'd always be going on and on about it. And he's total conspiracy theory kind of guy. So there's a lot of it I just kind of tune out. I thought it was interesting, and I asked how it worked and stuff. But after all of that, I was just like, man, I got screwed on that. Put it in a drawer, forgot about it for a year or two. Well, then when I came back, I realized, oh, it's gone up a little bit or whatever it had at the time. And it had gone down first, but it had gone back up. And so I spent whatever it was, $100 and some worth of Bitcoin is what it ended up being worth when I spent it. But if I had kept 27.8 or whatever it was, 27.8324, who knows what the exact fraction was, I think I'd have something like $1 million right now. Like, let's check. How much is 27.8 Bitcoins worth? That's one of those things where you kick yourself in the head for your choices. Google Bitcoin price right now. $62,000, $62,890 each Bitcoin. Yeah, I had 28 of them. But we had a couple good nights out on the town with what I got up the Silk Road, I guess. Let's add that. Do I even want to know? I knew at some point in my life this would be like, after I realized that it went up to like, I think it hit like 10,000 at some point, and it just blew my mind when I thought back to it. I was like, that's what that guy paid me back in. So 68,850 times 27.8. Oh, okay. I was wrong. It's not a million. It's 1.9 million, $14,000 I would have right now. So yes, Mike, that guy is super rich now. He is. He spent a lot of money on bad habits, but he is still very rich. He was a Bitcoin guy and a whole bunch of other ones that didn't work out. But Bitcoin was like his heart. That's where his heart was at. And luckily, like none of the rug pulls or big things like that got him. So pretty crazy. Uh, Evergreen Psyche, just curious, what would you put in a New Guinea Indonesian tank with peacock gudgeons and luminatus? That's a tricky one. I was trying to figure that out myself. I would say that the Melanotania sahulensis is a pretty good one. The furcata, Pseudomagil furcatas are good. The Gertrude, the Pseudomagil Gertrude, RU2s, RU4s are really beautiful. They're very similar to the Luminatus, also, I understand, and I don't know if they hybridize potentially, but they may. So that'd be something you need to watch out for. But there aren't a whole lot of tiny little fish in Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea down here next to my head. Can you guys see my mouse when I move it? Or is that just on my screen? I'm just curious if you guys can see that at all. Anyways, I'm putting my mouse right over Papua New Guinea, right above Australia. And it is, oh, you guys can't see the mouse. Okay. But yeah, it has some really interesting fish. Obviously rainbow fish and peacock gudgeons, and then Australia has emperor gudgeons and things like that. But unless it's something that has its roots in the salt water, like a goby of some sort or whatnot, there aren't a lot of little fish. There aren't a lot of bottom eater fish. There are a few catfish, but not many. There's some bigger ones, and there's some like perch and stuff. But really, that divide between the continents was a true divide for a long time. And yeah, I mean, the Indonesian side of things has all the cool little, the little one spot catfish and then you get up into the mainland and you get like the anchor catfish and the all the little, there's like some squeaker cats and there's a bunch of different eels. But the peacock eel is another one. There's a dwarf peacock eel that only gets 5 inches long. It's almost like a dojo loach, a little bigger. That's another one that could potentially work in that biotope of Papua New Guinea. But yeah, it's a little tricky on there. Brody's bettas. If humans were fish, we'd be betta fish with all mixed genes. Yep, probably. I want to fish hunt in South Okinawa. There's some cool rice fish and killifish and gobies and stuff there. That's for sure. Um, so, guys, I think I might be calling it an evening here. You'll never know when I'll pop up, especially if I'm vertical. Dare I say, vertical, vertical, let it get vertical, vertical. Phil K, what's going on? El Fish Tanks, hello. Um, but yeah, I'm fading a little, guys. That's what that's all I'm gonna say about that. 2 million when it was $74,000. Um, wait, wait, what did Brody say about that? Uh, I got a membership from someone. Thank you, Nathan. Awesome. Uh, cool. Yeah. Actually, yeah. LRB is streaming now, so I need to get off here anyways. But yeah, if you feel inclined, go over and check out Lucas Brett's. He's always fun when I go visit the area in Florida. I'll check out what he's doing. He and I have known each other for a long time now since I started my YouTube channel, basically. Uh, so yes, I'm going on almost 8 years, I guess. Wow, time flies. And will we hit 70,000 officially today on the channel? Maybe. I kind of doubt it. It's been really slow lately. It like went really fast for a month and then it like slowed down a ton. But maybe. I mean, maybe if y'all go watch one extra old, like really back in the corners of my channel videos, maybe it will pull some more people over. If you really feeling frisky tonight, like look up the weirdest subject you can think of, and then add at fishery and see if I've got a video on it. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here, but I really do appreciate all your support and everybody being in a good mood, and the fact that you can laugh that I've made millions and lost millions, and you can just brush it off and keep on loving life. Holy smokes, Phil K, a 50-pound donation. My good sir, I will knight you. If you ever come to America, you are now officially knighted. That's what that gets you. That is very kind of you, Phil. I really do appreciate that. I don't know if you heard my story about the Bitcoins and losing millions. I could say that it was because I was a stupid stoner college kid, but actually I knew the potential of the thing, and I basically thought it was like trading penny stocks. And I knew of a bunch of other ones that were not going anywhere, that like friends were actually working on and stuff. Went to a very liberal college that was in the loop, and we'd talk over the college networks, the college intranets. Uh, we'd talk and we'd share files like back Napster days, and we'd actually like there were lots of these plans to do things like um, Bitcoin type things. Most of them didn't go off the ground. A few did, but none of them were successful, obviously, other than Bitcoin. Then it happened, and then all these other ones started happening too, and that's later. But it's a modern Ponzi scheme. It could be. We still don't know for sure. Anyways, yeah, in my head I was thinking it can't hit 100. Cyril, welcome and goodbye. Paulo, welcome and goodbye. Yeti, welcome and goodbye. Sorry, guys. I feel bad so many of you just popped in, but I will return. I will be back another time. And hopefully you'll know about it because you're members and maybe your alerts are on. And yeah. All right, guys. I got to get out of here. Much love. See you later. Bye.